Yo, and I'm just going to be completely transparent with you guys. Like everything that we're going to be talking about on this podcast is a skill set. Attracting clients is a skill set. Sales is a skill set. Delivering a valuable service to your clients is a skill set. And so in this podcast episode, I'm going to be talking, if you are getting on calls with clients, if you are getting on calls, this podcast is an absolute must for you. Yep. If you get on calls with prospects, this podcast is must. If you get on 5 phone calls a week and you only close 1 client, maybe you're making, $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 a month. If you get on 5 phone calls a week and you close 4 clients, you're going to be making $7,000 to $8,000 to $9,000 a month. And so the amount of calls that you close is going to be dependent on your sales rate. And so if you're not closing 1 in every 2 calls, listen up. These are the top 3 mistakes online trainers make on sales calls. So guys, the first mistake, let's get right into it. The first mistake that online trainers make on sales calls is this: too much value provided. Yep. Too much value provided. Now, like that actually sounds a little bit counterintuitive, right? Because you're like, what do you mean? Like, I thought my goal of getting on the phone call with a prospect is to give them the solution to their problem. Like, that's not true at all. Your goal on the phone call with a prospect, if you're taking notes, write this down, is to show the prospect that you have the solution. Your goal on the phone with a client is to show the prospect that you have the solution. See, the reason that a lot of online fitness coaches get on the call and they're giving too much value is because they're trying to come at them from a coach perspective. They're like, oh, I'm a coach and, I have all of this knowledge and, oh, you're only eating, 900 calories a day. Well, you definitely need to be eating way more food. And, here's how you go to My Fitness Pal and then you enter your macros and you calculate your calories. And then that's all you need to do. And if you do that, you'll lose weight. There's 2 main problems with that. Number 1 is that 95% of people won't do anything with it, even if you tell them the information. No. People don't need your information. They need you to guide them into a healthier lifestyle. If they needed free information, they wouldn't be on a call with you. They'd go to Google and type in, how do I lose weight with proper macros? And they would enter it. They need a coach that's going to give them feedback. Okay, so that's number 1. And number 2, if you give away all of your best stuff on the call with your prospect, why would they pay you?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, the call is not for fucking value. All right. And there might be a lot of people who listen to this, coaches, etc., that don't agree. But guess what? All right. It's not. That's what fucking Google's for. All right. I say this all the time. If you get on the phone call and all you're doing is telling people actionable steps and actionable information, trying to prove why you're a good coach, it's probably why you're broke. All right. Straight up. It's probably why you don't have a lot of clients. It's probably why you haven't been able to create an impact, because you're telling people stuff. You're telling them what to do. You're spending so much time explaining things that they don't even understand in the fucking first place. And then the people are just trying to either go implement it on their own, or they're just getting too overwhelmed and they're just getting off the phone in the first place. If people just wanted free information, they'd go to Google, like Brian just said.
Yeah. If the clients could have done it on their own, don't you think they already would have?
You really think they'd be on the phone with you right now, spending 45 minutes at a time, 20 minutes at a time, 5 minutes of their fucking time talking to you if they already knew how to do it in the first place?
And I get why. I get, like, as an online coach, like, I understand why online coaches are giving away too much value. Because if I'm a coach and I really care about helping people, then when I'm on the call with them, I'm like, oh man, I want to give them as much value as I possibly can. And I want to help them as much as I possibly can. That's what your posts are for.
Yep.
That's what your posts are for. The phone call is to show them that you have the solution to their problem. And the way that we'll actually talk about how not to do that, or like how to, not do the mistake. But guys, the biggest first mistake that you guys can make on calls is too much value provided. If you're spending 30, 60, 90 minutes on calls, giving away all of your best stuff to your clients, and your clients are telling you their problems and you're just giving them solutions on the call, that's why people aren't converting. Yep. Because you're overloading them with information. They're not going to do it anyways. And they feel like they already got everything from you. So why would they pay you money?
Yeah, what they feel is they're basically extracting all the information out of your brain. So you just become a Google service. You become a friend. You become a fucking talking software rather than an actual coach. All right, this is something that a lot of people make mistakes on. And a lot of the calls that I've reviewed in the past, a lot of the people that I've helped with their sales game in the past, that's exactly what they're doing. They're just talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and they become a friend rather than an actual authority.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to give you the mistakes, and then at the end of this podcast, we're going to give you what to do if you're doing that mistake. And so, guys, if you're taking notes, write this down. Mistake number 1 is too much value provided on the call. Mistake number 2, that online trainers make on calls that are leading them not to get sales is this: too much time talking about their program. Cole, you actually wrote a post about this. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
I literally wrote a post today about this because this is something that I preach so much. It's insane. Okay. First off, nobody gives a shit about your program, period. Okay. And like that might be, I guess, hard for you to understand, but no one cares. And whenever I explain this, I ask one question. So everybody listening to this, whether it's on YouTube, podcast, live, I don't care. Think about this question, okay, and answer it internally. All right. When you go to get your oil changed, do you care how they do it? Or do you just care that they change your goddamn oil so you can get driving with your car again? So do you just care that they change your oil so your car won't break down? 90% of the people I ask that question to are like, obviously I don't care. I just want my oil changed. Exactly. All right. 90% of the people that you talk to on a daily basis don't give a shit how you get them results. They just want the results. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be a couple of the clients that want to know the process. And those clients are most likely the best ones you'll ever have because they like listening. They like asking questions. They like the process you're putting them through. But there's 90% of them that just want to be lean, that just want to lose that 20 pounds before summer, that just want to feel healthier and look better in the fucking mirror. So they don't give a shit about how you have a holistic nutritionist degree and how you know the ins and outs of all nutrition. But you start explaining that on the phone, it's going to go right over their head because they don't understand what micro and macronutrients are. They don't understand the importance of meal timing and calories. They don't understand any of that stuff. So when you guys start breaking it down, you lose them.
I love that. I'm gonna jump in here for a second, and I'm gonna say, online trainers, when you're actually pitching your program, as in when you're going over, I'm doing training, nutrition, and accountability. When you're pitching your program, people don't care about your features and benefits. No. They care about their problems and the solution.
Yep.
People don't care about features and benefits. They don't care how cool your training app is. They don't care you're going to do step-by-step instructional videos. They don't care. Like they don't care. They really don't. What they want to know when you're pitching the program is this program going to help me get to my goals? That's it. And so if you spend 5, 10, 20 minutes explaining why and again, most online coaches, the reason that you guys are spending a ton of time explaining your program is because it's almost like you're trying to sell it to yourself too.
Yeah.
You're like, man, like this program is going to be awesome. I'm telling you. So I'm going to do your training plan. And in the training plan, I'm going to do 4 days worth of workouts. And on the workouts, it's going to be like, upper body, lower body split. And then I'm going to check in with you every single week. I'm going to do it on the training app as well. So I'll send you some messages and make sure that you're on track. And then you can also take pictures with me. And then I'll review the pictures.
It sounds like the most boring fucking thing in the entire world.
But that's what a lot of online trainers do.
Yeah.
Right. And then with your meal plans, I want to make sure that your meal plans aren't boring. And so I'm going to sit down every single week for like an hour or so and write you out a custom meal plan. And when I do the custom meal plan, I'll include some like proteins, like I'll include some fish and some steak and some extra long ground beef. And then I'll also, when it comes to carbs, you can eat anything like potatoes and broccoli and brown.
And then you're going to get a cheat meal like once a week because I want to make sure that you actually enjoy the process, but not too many cheat meals because we want to make sure that we're on track and we want to make sure that you're not going off of your diet. We want to make sure that everything's working properly. You lose them.
They're like, what?
You got to keep that shit short and sweet. You got to make it sound sexy. Okay. I say this to everybody that I talk to in the 10K Coaching Academy. You're losing them by explaining too much. Guys, another thing that Brian just said, okay, he says that they just want to know that you're going to be able to provide them with the solution. They don't care about the features and the benefits, etc. It also goes right over their head if you start explaining too much. All right. What happens if I am a stay-at-home dad, okay, or if I'm a father with 2 kids? I'm also working 10 hours a day and I barely have any time for myself. And Brian gets on the phone with me and he spends 45 minutes fucking pitching this in-depth training and in-depth nutrition and crazy program. I'm instantly thinking there's no fucking way I can do that because I don't have the time in my day. All right. They want to know that your program is going to provide them with the results and they want to know that your program is going to work with their situation. So if you overwhelm them with like, I'm going to put you on a training regimen that's like going to help you build X amount of muscle and we're going to be able to do this because of the progressive training overload or whatever the fuck you want to say, it's going to overwhelm the shit out of them. You need to keep that shit short and sweet. Short and sweet is better. You want to say more with less.
I love it so much. Okay, now let's get into mistake number 3. And then at the end of this, everybody write down mistake number 2. Too much time talking about the program. Mistake number 3. And after this, we're going to talk about how to solve these problems. But mistake number 3 is overthinking the situation. Like, yo, online fitness coaches, guys, let's get real here. How many of us get so nervous for sales calls that we kind of like freak out before the call and we're like, shit, like get so nervous. And then on the call, you're like jumbling your words because you're like afraid to like pitch and you're like nervous about asking for money and you're like overwhelmed and you're excited and you're anxious and like you're overthinking the situation.
Yeah.
Guys, overthinking the situation is huge. That's why a lot of online coaches are afraid. A lot of online coaches won't even lead generate because they're afraid of getting on the phone and asking for money for their service. But in reality, this is how I view calls, right? I view every single call for me as an opportunity to help somebody transform their life. I'm like, somebody's been following me on my social media and they engaged with me enough to be interested to ask for my help. That person is literally raising their hands, spending 15 to 20 to 30 minutes of their day with me, like knowing that I might be able to help them solve a problem that they've had for a long time. And it's it's like a gift for me to show up and like with as much passion and energy as I possibly can and offer them a program that can completely transform their life.
100p. That's it. That's it, guys. It's that simple. Don't overthink the situation. It's not like you're getting on the phone with the fucking president. You're getting on the phone with a human being. All right, a person who needs help. Speak to them like they're a fucking human being. Way too many of you guys overwhelm yourselves with the situation. You overthink about crazy scenarios. All right, they're not going to have the money. Maybe they won't be able to join my program. Maybe they don't like the sound of my program. Maybe they've heard something bad about me in the past. Or maybe. Guess what? They're getting on the phone with you. They need help. That's it. Figure it out on the phone. All right. The point of a call is to get to know somebody. That's literally why I get on the phone with people. All right. I don't think about the sales or anything else like that first. The first thing I do when I get on the phone with someone is just to get to know them. I want to know if I vibe with you. I want to know what your problems are. I want to know if I can actually help you or if I need to point you in a different direction because I don't feel like I can actually serve you the best. That is the point of the call.
Dude, I love that. And I'm going to say something that one of our clients, Kelly Frank, said, and I love it so much. The call is not about you, online coach. It's about them. This call is not about you and your anxieties and your fears and your, oh my God, what if they don't want to buy? And what if they don't have the money? Or what if this, what if that, et cetera, et cetera. This call is not about you. It's about them. They're the ones that agreed to get on a phone call with you. They're the ones that like said that they would like your help. That's why you use the DM script on them, and it worked because they would like your help. And so now it's your job to show up and serve to the best of your ability, even if you are nervous.
Yep.
It's your job. It's your responsibility. Like you can help them. And if you don't help them, if you don't get on the call with them, if you don't offer their service, what if they go another 1, 2, 3, 4 years struggling with their weight and their confidence because you didn't show up and serve to the best of your ability?
Because you were nervous to ask the right questions, because you were nervous to deep dive into their pains, because you were nervous to do your fucking job on the call as a coach and talk to them about what's wrong. Stop worrying about the money and have a fucking conversation with the people.
Everybody write that down. Stop worrying about the money and have a fucking conversation. I love that, dude. That's super fire. I love that.
There's a reason why these people are getting on the phone with you. Ask them.
So what would you do, Cole, if let's say I'm an online trainer, I'm listening to this podcast right now, and my number one struggle is that I give way too much value. Maybe I'm a coach and I really, really care about my clients. And so I really want to deliver as much as I can to these calls as possible. But I just talk way too much and I give way too much value. What would you do if you were that coach?
Hell yeah. Okay, so before I give the answers to this, I know that there's going to be some people with like small-mindedness where they see what me and Brian are talking about and they feel a little bit off about it because you guys are looking at sales the wrong way. Number one, I do want to say before we break these down, every online fitness coach out there is a salesman in some aspect, period.
All of them.
Because if you don't know how to convert people, if you don't know how to pitch your program, you will not change any lives. If you do not know how to pitch your program, you won't change any lives, period. If you don't have any fucking clients, how are you supposed to be a successful online fitness coach, right? You got to learn this. So If you're listening to this right now,
everybody's a salesperson. Some people are good at it and some people aren't.
Exactly. All right. And this is why you need to practice, just like you needed to practice on how to understand the ins and outs of being a fitness coach. Now you got to understand how to build your community, build your fucking following so you can attract, convert, and deliver, etc. Now let's deep dive into this shit. Number one, my advice to you, if you are currently struggling with providing too much value, spending 40, 50, 60, 70 minutes on the fucking phone, talking to people just to have them say no to you, is number one, practice. Okay. Pick a friend, talk to somebody, role play with somebody, practice. All right. Because if you don't practice your sales game, if you don't practice getting on the phone more often, like me and Brian did way back in the day when we first started as online fitness coaches, you're never going to learn how to improve your timing, and you're never going to be able to shorten your calls and focus on the specific things that need to be focused on, such as why are they actually on the phone with you? All right. They don't want a step-by-step guide on how fucking macronutrients work. They can find that shit on Google. That's not why they
lose 20 pounds.
Exactly. They want to lose 20 pounds. What's their actual pain? Why do they want to lose 20 pounds? How long have they wanted to lose 20 pounds? What's been stopping them from losing 20 pounds? Focus on that shit. Stop trying to tell them the step-by-step process on how to lose that 20 pounds and ask them why they want to lose it in the first place. They've come to you to help them to lose the 20 pounds. So my advice on how to stop providing so much value is number one, to get on role plays. Okay. Role play with a fucking friend that you know. Me and Brian did it for years when I first started in the online fitness space. Every single day for 6 months to a year, we would role play prospect calls because we wanted to get better at what we did. I wanted to make sure that when I got on the call, I actually knew what to talk about instead of just trying to talk somebody's ear off because I was super nervous. So get on role plays and time your actual role plays.
I love that. If you're in the 10K Coaching Academy, literally go post in the community after this right now, being like, looking for a role play partner, like, let's go. Like we have over 500 online trainers that are all just as hungry as you, and you will find the role play. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a very simple framework. Okay. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys two things. I'm going to add to what Cole said. I'm going to tell you guys two things. Obviously, practice. Number one, practice shutting up. I'm dead serious. Because like I was reviewing one of my calls from one of my clients, and she kept like almost like cutting off the other person and just like talking too much and just trying to like give so much value. And I was like, Barbie, literally, Barbie, I said her name. I was like, practice silence. I'm like, just practice silence. Practice like when they say something, just literally practice just like silence. Like let them talk and then practice silence. So practice silence, like literally let them talk, practice silence. Then once you practice silence, here's how we go, right? Here's how this works. There's very simple framework after practicing silence is validate, relate, and lean in. Online trainers, I teach you guys this inside of the 10K Coaching Academy. Validate, relate, lean in. So let somebody talk, right? Like let them say what they're saying. Once you have, like, what's your number one fitness goal? They say everything they need to say. Don't coach them. You just want to validate, relate, and lean in. So validate, be like, oh, I love that fitness goal. That sounds amazing. When I first started working out, like one of my biggest goals was weight loss too. Validate, relate, and then you lean in. And leaning in means asking the next question. Yep. Literally ask the next question. Okay, great. So in your fitness journey right now, like what would you say is the biggest thing you're struggling with? You're not there to coach. You're there to dissect. View your guys. When you go to the doctor, what happens? The doctor asks you a bunch of questions. And basically after he asks you a bunch of questions, he makes an analysis on what the problem actually is. That's your job. Your job is to be the doctor on calls. You basically ask questions. You're digging to find the root cause of whatever's going on. And then once you find the root cause, you're offering the solution. And the solution is your transformation program. And the way that you pitch your program is, we're going to talk about that next. So that's with too much value provided. Does that make sense? If you're an online coach, you're tuning in right now, give me a nod. Or if you're like watching the live, like drop a fire. Okay. So too much time talking about the program, Cole. Number two, if I'm an online trainer and I'm spending way too much time talking about my program, what would you recommend?
This is one that literally drives me insane because no matter how many times I say it in the 10K Coaching Academy, so if you listen to this, talking to you, a lot of people still don't do it. Listen, I'm going to say it one more time. We already talked about it. Nobody gives a fuck about your program. So if you're struggling with spending too much time talking about your program, follow one rule. and I say it all the time, and I've been saying it since we started the PT Domination. Make it sound sexy. That's it. And how do you do that? You relate it to their goals. Nobody gives a shit about fucking eating chicken and rice every day and meal prepping. What they care about is eating foods they love while losing weight. Because that's what everybody wants, right? That's what everybody wants to achieve. They want to be able to eat the foods they love, all right, and achieve their fitness goals. So when you talk about your program when it comes to nutrition, focus on that. All right, so Brian, basically what I'm going to do when it comes to your nutrition is I'm just going to make sure that we lose weight while eating foods that you actually enjoy so you don't end up binging on the fucking weekends like you usually do. How does that sound?
Sounds good, bro.
That's it. That's the fucking end.
Pitch the whole thing. Let's give it to him.
Okay, I'm just going to use the whole pitch. Okay, so we're going to make it sound sexy. Brian wants to lose 20 pounds, guys. Okay, that's just his goal. That's all I'm going to use right now. All right, Brian. So, first off, thank you for sharing with me. I appreciate you opening up because I know that I am a stranger on the phone right now. Now, would you like to hear about my program that gets my clients such amazing results?
Dude, I'd love that.
Dope, man. That's what I like to hear. So first off, my program is called Amarok's ACC Method, where we break down accountability, consistency, and creativity over a 16-week term to make sure that you can sustain your goals for a long period of time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Dope. All right, man. So I'm going to just keep this short and simple. When it comes to your nutrition, we got to get that under wraps. So I'm going to make sure that we maneuver your nutrition program around to make sure you actually eat the foods you enjoy on a daily basis so you can stop going to these fast food restaurants and everything else, and to make sure that you lose that 20 pounds so you feel confident when you look in the mirror. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Dope. Now, when it comes to your training, I know you're a busy guy. Okay, you're working around 12 to 14-hour days right now. You are busy from the time you wake up to when you go to bed at night. So a crazy training regimen that's making you train 6 days a week probably isn't good for you, correct?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I already knew that. So when it comes to your training, I'm going to give you something that you can actually do on a daily basis. I don't really give a fuck where you do it, home or the gym. Nothing that you say is going to be a good excuse for me because I'm going to make something work for your situation. And it's going to make sure that it fits your schedule so we can lose weight, we can tone up, we can build that muscle, and you're going to have plenty of time to do other things that you love to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
Dope, man. And last but not least, the accountability. All right. You've been slacking off recently. Okay. You've been kind of doing whatever you wanted. And if I'm correct, you've reached a point where you now need this help to take your goals to the next level, correct?
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm going to be able to help you do that. And I'm going to be the one who holds you accountable 24/7, 7 days a week until we achieve your goals. All right. Meaning any questions that you have within a 24-hour time frame are going to be answered, if not instantly, because I'm addicted to my phone. If I don't get to them right away, I'll get back to it the next day. We're going to basically make sure that any questions that you do have are answered. We're going to make sure that you're following the program. We're going to make sure that you're seeing the results. So you don't end up just feeling like you're in another program that doesn't care about you, and to make sure that you actually enjoy the process along the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
Dope. Guys, that's it. All right. And don't get me wrong, I would clean it up a little bit because I'm just said that Brian wanted to lose 20 pounds there. We don't really know about a lot what they actually wanted to achieve, but all I'm doing is I'm making it sound good.
Yeah.
Because again, if he wants to know about the nutrition, I'll explain it to him.
Yeah.
If he wants to know about the training, I'll explain it to him. And if he wants to know about anything to do with the accountability, the check-ins, the Facebook group, the in-depth fucking calls that I do with my clients every single week, all the crazy in-depth shit, then I'll explain it to him. But guess what? If Brian didn't know anything about nutrition and I start going in-depth about meal timing and macronutrients and micronutrients and making sure that he's getting the exact amount of calories in each day with his fucking meal plan, it's going to go right over his head. He's going to listen and he's going to stop talking. He's going to go quiet, which I'm assuming a lot of you listening, if you have been on prospect calls, have experienced what I'm saying right now. Your prospect's going to go silent. They're going to stop paying attention. They're not going to actually understand what the fuck you're saying to them. Yeah.
So guys, I love that. I'm going to even go a little bit shorter too. So one of our clients, Chad Morgan, I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He made $44.5 thousand in 1 month USD. And so I'm going to go as short as his pitch goes. Ready?
His is fucking fun too. Yeah.
We're going to pretend that Cole wants to lose 20 pounds. All right, Cole. So dude, thank you so much for, sharing all of your goals with me. I really appreciate it. Would you like to hear about how I can help you?
Yeah.
All right, brother. So basically the way that my program works is it's 12 weeks long. We focus on training, nutrition, and accountability. So for your training program, bro, I know you want to lose 20 pounds. I also know you're super busy. So I'm going to design you a training program that you can stick to. It's going to be short and sweet workouts so that we can get you to that 20-pound weight loss goal faster and efficiently. Is that cool?
Yep.
Dude, awesome. So for your nutrition plan, I know that you said you like to eat out on the weekends. We're going to cut that out. I'm going to include a flexible eating lifestyle, eating some of the foods that you love while being able to lose the weight that you want to lose. Is that cool?
Yep.
Awesome, brother. Now for accountability, that's one of the biggest things that I care about. So every single week, I'm going to check in on you. We're either going to be making progress on your journey or we're going to make changes to your program. Either way, every single week, we're going to be moving forward closer and closer to that 20-pound weight loss goal. Is that cool?
Yep.
Boom.
And if I'm not mistaken, because I looked at my timer here, guys, that was under 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So the gist of what me and Brian are telling you guys right now is I think mine just adding random words in there and asking questions was around fucking 60 seconds to 3 minutes. And the way Chad does his, when Brian just explained to you, 60 seconds.
That's the pitch. That's the
Half
pitch.
of you fucking people are spending like 12
5 minutes, 10 minutes talking about it.
Exactly. And you're explaining so much that it's going over people's heads and they don't understand you and they're trying to keep up. And then you said so many fucking big words because you're trying to sound like the smart person on the phone for whatever reason that people are now confused and now they want to ask you questions about training timings and fucking meal breakdowns and macronutrients and training protocols and fucking progressive overload. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? Where they don't care. They just want to lose fucking 20 pounds.
Is this program, is the nutrition going to help me lose weight?
Yep.
Is the training program going to fit my schedule and help me lose weight? Is the accountability going to make sure that I lose weight?
Yep.
Period. All right. Last thing. Let's talk about overthinking the situation. For those online coaches right now that are listening that might be like, nervous about sales calls, freaking out, like stressed out, overwhelmed. What advice would you give to those online coaches that overthink sales calls in general?
Number one, get your mind right. Okay, because if you're overthinking sales calls, it's most likely not to do just with the sales calls in general. It's most likely to do with the fact that you're stressed on a daily basis and your mind's consistently running. Period. That's like, straight up. Like, that is the first fucking thing. And I know that from personal experience, guys, because, when I get live, all right, when I do live trainings at Facebook, when I do random YouTube videos, even when I do the podcast, me and Brian will joke around because I stutter sometimes. And now I've just learned to roll with it. Before, though, when I first started in this game, I would do a live video and I'd stop it and start it like 6 times in a row because I was so fucking nervous about what other people would think about me or the knowledge that I was providing or anything else that was running through my mind that I would let my fucking thoughts overwhelm the situation. Now I don't give a fuck. I'll ramble like crazy, fill your baby up with food, whatever I'll say, and I just roll with it because that's my personality. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get your mind right in some sort of way. A morning routine, meditation, motivational videos, anything to calm your mind on a daily basis.
I love it.
Okay, to make sure that you're focused. And then you need to just start looking at it exactly how it is. You're talking to a fucking human being about achieving their goals. And guess what? You signed up for this shit when you decided to become a fitness coach. What do you expect? Right?
Part of the process.
That's like fucking being at a mechanic shop and getting nervous that homie wants you to change his oil. Bro, you're at a mechanic shop for a reason. This is what you signed up for. Be happy that you have someone to talk to. Be happy and grateful for this situation that has now presented itself to you.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. For those of you guys that are overthinking the situation, I have 2 things to say to you. Number one, fucking practice. Like the reason that me and Cole are able, like we're live right now. There's 50 people watching. And I know that there's going to be, 500 to 1,000 people that download this specific podcast.
Yeah.
And the reason we're able to live pitch like that is because we practiced for a year on each other.
Every single fucking day. In person.
I'll be like, I've got a call in 20 minutes. You mind if I pitch you really quick? And I would just roll through my pitch with them. Boom, 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 boom. We're good. All right, dude, I'm going to go crush it. Boom, hang up, go crush calls. Because I understood that every person that books a call with me is an opportunity to transform somebody's life and build my business. And that's exactly what I'm about. So why wouldn't I treat those opportunities with respect? Practice, number one. Number two, guys, it's not about you, it's about them. I'm going to quote Kelly Frank here. Like, you're not showing up to the call for you, you're showing up to the call for them.
Yep.
So no matter how nervous you feel, if you're nervous, how do you think they feel?
Yep. That the energy fucking rubs off on people. Okay.
Right. So just show up with Cole said, with gratitude. Hey, Cole, thanks so much for jumping on the call with me today, bro. I'm really excited to talk to you about your goals and, frankly, see if I can help or not. So let's dive right in. Boom. Now you're into it.
Mm-hmm. Yo, and I just want to touch on that role play thing again, because I feel like it's so important and so many people don't understand it. So I brought that up when we broke down how to fix providing so much value. We can also use this role play example on how to fix talking too much about your program. We can also use this as an example on how to just get better at sales and talking to people in general. Listen, for everybody paying attention to this, and I preach this again every single time I talk about sales. All right, when it comes to fitness coaching and online fitness coaching, you are a salesperson. Fucking period. If you want to make $10,000 a month because you listen to Brian's podcast so you can get there, and you're not trying to get better at your sales, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. All right, it doesn't make any sense.
Awesome.
Fuck Kobe Bryant didn't only go into the games so he could play. No, he spent 4 or 5 hours in the gym. There's actually a story that came out. It was another basketball player. I don't know who he is, guys. I don't follow basketball. I just know Kobe. Sorry, don't get mad at me. But he came into the gym. Okay, his team was playing Kobe's team. He came into the gym and he saw Kobe practicing, and he's dead sweat. Kobe's going ham, doing all his regular tricks, playing to his fullest ability while he's practicing. He said that he probably was there for an hour before he got there. So he's like, okay, well, I got to put the work in. He said that he was there for 2.5 hours straight going ham. And when he was packing up to leave, Kobe was still going for another hour. Then when he was in the locker room, all right, Kobe came in the locker room afterwards, an hour later, right before they're about to leave. He's like, I got to ask him. He's like, bro, how do you keep up with this, man? You've been in the gym for 4 hours now. He's like, oh, I was done 2 hours ago, but I needed to make sure that you knew that you weren't going to outwork me. Straight up. And I love that story because it just shows you how important practice and fucking work ethic is.
Yeah.
When I get on the phone with the opportunity to transform somebody's fucking life, I see it as a disservice. I don't know how to fucking speak to them, if I don't know how to help them on the actual phone. So I spend the time to practice. I role play. I learn how to provide the right amount of value instead of just talking because I'm nervous. I learn how to pitch my program properly so people understand it and want to work with me. And I made sure that I didn't overthink the situation because I'm grateful for every opportunity that I have to change another life.